Police officers of Reddit, who's the smartest criminal you've ever encountered? Some fella broke into a jewelry store a couple of decades ago. You'd think he'd go for the vault, but instead he stole the chandelier overlooking the showroom. Turns out the thing is priceless. Funny thing is, we found the owner's daughter half naked in the store in the morning. She claimed she had night walks, and we immediately suspected foul play. Unfortunately, the security camera footage for that night had been removed, so we couldn't verify her story. We let her go and tracked her as we thought she could lead us to the chandelier. Sometime later she made a trip to Mexico in the middle of nowhere. We thought she stashed the chandelier there, so we set up a raid with the Mexican police. On the day of her arrival, we raided her cottage, only to find her sitting around in lingerie with no chandelier in sight. Trail went cold, and we never caught the thief, but the chandelier's been reportedly sighted in the German black market. The perfect crime, whether it's by the girl or some probably very handsome, strong and authoritative individual who probably owns a thriving farm. There was a gang that would rob school computer rooms to steal 30+ laptops at a time. They would repeatedly activate the alarm and leave. Eventually the zone is either bypassed or the company is told that the zone is faulty and to ignore it. And then they would break in. They managed a few schools in a row before anyone caught onto the pattern. Well, there was this one guy, we'll call him Jack. Now, Jack stole stuff, but also involved a lot of people. One time, he was planning to steal a whole bunch of cars, all luxury cars. So what he did was he got his people to call 911 etc. from all different places and countries to tell them that car theft was taking place in multiple places. Oh, he also only used a few people each time, so it was different voices, people, locations, etc. So the police went each time until he actually did the crime. Then no one came. He was never caught. When the owner of those cars came, the police didn't believe him. 10/10ths genius right there. A guy, let's call him Dave, I worked with told this story. He was working at a Mercedes dealership. He was sitting at his desk when this well-dressed gentleman comes in and asks if he could test drive a specific car that was parked out front. It was also a busy day. Usually they are allowed to let people test drive by themselves after they have taken some form of a deposit or something. Maybe the official ID or something. Not really relevant. So Dave gives out the keys. The guy goes on his test drive and comes back a reasonable amount of time later. He walks in and hands off the key, gets his deposit / whatever back. This was about closing time, even possibly on a Friday. Everything is in order. Fast forward to the next business day. Dave's boss walks in and realizes that one of the Mercedes out front is gone. Dave has to explain that the car was returned and that they have the key and everything. Turns out the criminal didn't test drive. He drove somewhere to create a replica of the key and gave that replica back to the desk. He kept the real key. That smart son of a bitch. Edit. Dave is not the criminal. He is the employee. Apparently people think Dave is the criminal. D. I'm not a cop, but I would say DB. Cooper deserves a mention. Dude hijacked a plane, got ransom money, and released all the passengers, and the plane take off again. Then during the second flight parachuted out of the plane, and was never caught. Their my primary school got robbed of all their new computers. When I was a kid, they were so proud of their new computer lab and made a big celebration of it. This was in the dark days, when it was about to boom into the enormous industry it has become. The guys managed to jimmy a window enough to get a stick through, then wave it around in front of the motion sensors until they set the alarms off. Of course, being back to base alarms, the police would be notified straight away, and the thieves would close the window and hide away. So when the cops arrived there would be no sign of forced entry and nothing was missing. So it looked like a faulty alarm. They continued this cycle until the cops got the shit and stopped responding. Then they were free to empty the place out and no one found out until the computer lab teacher unlocked the door the next morning. I never found out if they got busted in the end or not, but I like to think they didn't. There's a small tourist town where I grew up that is divided in half by a river course. The only way to visit the site is over a long bridge, unless you go all the way around another mountain pass. These guys called it life. across a bridge to do crowd control, etc, etc. The guys then called in a bomb threat on the bridge and started robbing stuff. The police couldn't be positive the threat was real or not and hesitated long enough to give the thieves a head start.